You want to turn the TV on? Never mind. It is on. What's up?
Hello everybody, welcome to Signals from the Frontline, your every Monday and Friday videocast on Twitch and YouTube, podcast on iTunes. My name is Frankie.
My name is Reese, and as always, Signals from the Frontline is brought to you by frontlinegaming.org, where we sell all kinds of hobby goodies from 10 to 25% off retail. We also are the retailers for the Fat Mats, which we'll be talking about more in a little bit. And we throw all kinds of cool events like the BAO, the LVO, through War Games Con this year. We love gaming, we live and breathe it. And here we are to talk about the news and what's happening.
Yeah. So, there are some interesting news topics floating around. Biggest one is the new Fat Mats.
It is the biggest news in the world. I'm pretty sure Anderson Cooper will be talking about it on CNN.
That is a given, yes.
Duh.
They are...
That's how Anderson Cooper has such nice hair. He rubs a Fat Mat on it.
Is that true?
That's why I still have hair. I rub a Fat Mat on my scalp.
Or lack thereof, it tears it all off.
I actually have a full head of hair. I just don't grow it out.
Oh, likely story. Likely story.
I do have the Vegeta.
I think that's what a lot of bald people say.
I do.
Oh, I still have a whole...
I got more hair on my body than you. Actually, I don't know. You're a hirsute man yourself. So at any rate, we're really excited to announce that we are releasing 5 new Fat Mats. We've been spreading teaser images all around the internet all week. People have been getting very excited about it. We're pumped to show these off. We've got some that are really, really cool. They're all cool. There's a couple in there.
Not just some of them.
Yeah, just some of them. Some of them we hate. No, that's absolutely not true. They're really, really beautiful new mats. They're a wide variety of mats. Are going to give you a lot of different options. The industrial match we'll jump into right away.
Yep.
Well, first of all, before I go any further, this is a global release. every warehouse, Australia, which serves New Zealand, Australia, and the surrounding countries, UK warehouse, which serves UK, Europe, and North American warehouse, which serves obviously United States, Canada, and Mexico, as well as South America, for those of you who do. We actually have sent a couple down to South America.
Yep.
So everyone is available to pre-order these at the same time. They won't all ship at the same time. They're going to be like a couple days difference, but they'll all be shipping the end of this month, very beginning of October. Check it out. You can go into our web store and go to the respective web cart for your region, or you can follow the links on the show notes. So anyway, back to the industrial mat. This one, I love them all, but this one is my favorite.
Yeah, definitely.
The industrial mat is gorgeous. It represents like a manufactorum, kind of the inside of what you would expect to see on like a Forge World, or just a generic factory, a science fiction themed factory. You could also use it for modern games if you want to do too, like a modern combat game.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily strictly science fiction. That's one of the cool things about the mat. It also, like our Urban Combat 1 really popular feature, shows off deployment zones. It's got everything you need to just put your models down on the table without having to go and measure everything out. And the detail on this thing is stellar. I mean, it's
incredible.
It's incredible. It's a gorgeous mat. The attention to detail is absolutely stunning. One of the the only semi-drawback I have found is that when you put terrain on the mat, sometimes you put terrain on the mat, you're like, man, it's covered in terrain. And then you start playing, you're like, it's not. Because all the graphics on the mat make you feel like it tricks your brain into thinking there is more terrain. So I guess that's the only thing I can say about it, is make sure check line of sight before you start playing the game. Because you may find that your brain is tricked into thinking that there's line of sight blocking terrain when there's not, because it is that detailed, that realistic looking.
Yeah, it really is like visually appealing. Like you could just play on the map by itself without terrain, and it looks great. I mean,
I wouldn't recommend that for a game
no,
unless
it would be
was
very
melee,
difficult. But
too close combat on these, but.
But yeah, no, it looks really, really cool. It has a couple landing pads. It has like
those don't even necessarily have to be landing pads. Those could be like elevators going down into the sub-basement and stuff. Like you can let your imagination go wild. And then mats do tile together. If you had multiple of these mats, you can put them together like in a T shape or side by side, and they'll make one continuous image.
Yep.
Very cool. We also are releasing an Alpine 3x3 mat. This is a continuation of our very popular Alpine mat, which is like a mountainous snow scene, and the 3x3 foot size is perfect for games that play on a smaller size, such as Malifaux. There's also D&D Attack Wing, I believe, is played on a 3x3 foot surface. So for the games out there that are more skirmish based, or RPGs, Pathfinder, D&D, this is a really, really good mat for those types of games.
You can play X-Wing on it too.
Yeah, you could. The Battle of Hoth.
Yeah.
Totally. I didn't even think about that. That's a really, really good idea. And Empire Strikes Back. You could recreate those scenes where the atmospheric fighters, I can't remember what they're called.
Don't know.
Where they take down the AT-ATs. Very cool. Definitely check that out. We've also got a brand new, very, very unique mat, the Alien Invasion 4x6 foot mat. And this one is geared towards games that you would play with armies such as Tyranids in Warhammer 40K. And it represents the initial stages of an alien invasion onto what would otherwise be a normal landscape.
Yeah.
So you get the sense of, the Tyranids or Zerg in StarCraft, like we intentionally made it look like creep, that you would, like a lot of people would recognize that from those video games.
Yeah.
This is like the initial stages, and it's supposed to represent the period of time when the defenders of whatever planet or surface it is are trying to stop the spread of the alien menace, so to speak, on their planet. So you can create some really wild-looking landscapes on this mat, where you can have grass and city and alien all mixed up together. It's creates a really, really unique battlefield. There's nothing else like this out
We
there.
took some of our terrain and threw this like purple goo on it, and it looks really cool.
Yeah, we took GW buildings.
Yeah.
And we put like slime. So you put it on the the creep sections, and it looks like it's going up onto the buildings.
Mr. Dandy makes awesome terrain for it. So.
And then we have a bunch of the Forge World
spires
and chimney spores that we painted up to match, and it looks really good. My Tyranids also happen to be purple, so luckily for me, and they actually have green bases on them. That had nothing to do with why we chose the colors we did. It just happened to be pretty fortuitous for myself. I was like, oh look, my guys look perfect for this.
And then we have a 4x4 and 6x4 spaceship interior mat. This one is really cool too. It's a lot like the industrial, where it has the deployment zones marked off, just like the urban combat map. And I dig it. I think this is going to be great for such games as what's the Forge World game? I'm drawing blanks right now.
Zone Mortalis, or it'd be really good for Space Hulk.
There
We designed this mat as a response to a lot of requests specifically for it.
Yeah.
And we made it with this in mind, right? You could play Aliens versus Predator on this. You could play Space Hulk. You could play Zone Mortalis. You could play boarding action style games. You could also use this as the interior of a hive city if you want to play games like Necromunda. Or the 4x4 is also great for Infinity, in addition to other games like Zone Mortalis. And the mat's very versatile. You could use it for the inside of like a high-tech city, like a hive city, as I said.
Yeah.
You could use it for the inside of a spaceship. There's a ton of stuff you can do. And if you want, what we found is if you take the GW city, the GW buildings, and you make them to be walls, you can build like a maze-like interior, what you would see in a spaceship or a hive city. And you can do it affordably because GW terrain is actually very reasonably priced.
Yeah.
There are also other manufacturers out there that do laser cut MDF that do spaceship interior walls and computer outlets and such like that. Or Mantic's terrain would look really good on this. And you could create situations or environments like that where you could have these really tense games on the inside of a spaceship or the inside of a hive city. Or for Infinity, where you have a very, very high-tech city or a spaceship.
Yep.
So these are really versatile mats. Like Frankie said, they have the deployment zones pre-marked. The detail on these things is nuts. It is so crazy, the attention to detail. Like you could go down and look at it super close, and you'll be amazed at how much you see on these mats. Really, really proud of our art team, what they've done with these. Very excited. Pre-orders are up now, so if you want to get them, jump in there to your respective web cart. Go ahead and take a look at them. Also, if you're in North America or the United Kingdom, consider the Outrider program if you want to get yourself a free mat. If you have a local game store that is interested, or in Europe, we also do it in Europe, just make sure to email us at orders@frontlinegaming.org and we'll give you the skinny on it. But especially for North America and the UK where this program works really, really well, if you have a friendly local game store that is considered or is interested in carrying the Fat Mat line, if you introduce them to it, we will send them a free mat of their choice. They put it out on the tables in their store, see if there's any interest. It's risk-free. They only have to pay for the shipping. And if their customers are interested and they open up a wholesale account with us, we'll send you a free mat of your choice as a way of saying thank you for introducing us to your store. So it's a win-win-win. No one loses anything in this deal.
Nope.
The store can get a mat to show off to their customers. If they choose not to open up a wholesale account, they don't have to give it back. And if their customers like it, which usually putting it out in front of the customers is the way to drum up the interest, and they get a wholesale account, you get a free mat, and we have a new retail customer, or wholesale customer, excuse me. So check it out. The Outrider program has been really good for us.
Yeah.
And we hope that it continues to introduce Fat Mats to new customers.
All right. So that's enough about Fat Mats. Hopefully you guys can get yours. Don't miss out, because stock is limited. Wizards of the Coast is going to be shutting down their forums on October 29th. The reason why is they want to focus more on social media. So whether that be like Twitter or Facebook or whatever, I guess they're going to close down their forums. That's an interesting tactic.
It is. I mean, I was reading the press release. I was really interested why.
Yeah.
Because their forums are huge, and they're giving people till the end of October to take any content off that they want to keep. Right, because there's people on I was not as much as I used to be, but I used to be like heavily involved in Daka, and people, they do crazy stuff for the community that they're a part of, like tutorials, strategy guides, all kinds of awesome stuff. And WotC recognizes that this is valuable. They're giving people time to take it down, but they said that they feel that the way to engage customers has changed. It's no longer forums. They said now they believe it's Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook, the Flickr. They think that those are I don't do Flickr, right, or whatever the hell it's called. The picture one. They feel Pinterest, whatever. I think Flickr is also one. Instagram. Yeah, I don't engage on those because I'm too busy with the other ones. But they feel that is where they want to put their focus and their attention, because moderating a big forum is a big job. It takes a lot of resources the server space to run a big forum is significant. It's expensive.
Yeah.
So I do understand, but I could also understand that their customers are probably very upset. D&D, Magic, they have a lot of big games where people have a real sense of community, and they're going to be like, but they want to change their focus.
Yeah, it's really interesting just from the outside looking in. I mean, we don't know. We weren't at the board meeting or anything, but if you have a booming forum, it's like you have moderators and stuff in there. I mean, you could even make some of the community moderators and just have them go in and police it themselves, and then just have somebody kind of oversee it.
I'm sure that they didn't make this decision lightly.
Yeah, no, I'm sure.
I'm sure they really thought it through, and they determined with the information that they had that the best course of action was to delete their forums, which they are deleting them.
That's crazy.
And change their focus to social media.
Well, hopefully it works out for them.
From a community perspective, I think a forum is probably better, but from a business perspective, I could see choosing to focus on something like Facebook or Twitter where people are sharing and retweeting or liking stuff that you post, and you're getting customer feedback and customers are spreading the love about your products. I could see that being the business decision that you go with. Like if you have a team of people that this is what they do, you might be like, hey, we're better served from a business perspective focusing on social media where you also have a sense of community.
Yeah, definitely.
So, hey, it is what it is. So just, if you are a part of those forums, go in there and save anything you want to save because you have about a month and a half before it's gone.
So Forge World releases a new broadside bundle pack in anticipation for the upcoming Tau Codex. I love the Forge World broadsides. They're pretty cool. I
think they're gorgeous. I actually do like the new plastic Forge or Games Workshop ones more. I like the beefy, bulky nature of them. The rail cannon.
I don't like the rail cannon.
I know. I like the underslung gun arms. I think it looks cooler. But previously when it was basically a crisis suit with some add-ons, it was like no compare. The Forge World ones were so much better.
Yeah.
And they're beautiful. They're so beautiful models. But if you want to get your hands on some, they're doing a bundle pack, which saves you a little bit of money, and obviously anticipation for the new upcoming Tau Codex.
Heck yeah. All right. The War Machine and Hordes WTC went down and looked like a great time. Hopefully we can make it out to that 1 year. Yeah, I like War Machine and Hordes, and I would love to go play in some events.
It's the World Team Championships, sort of like the ETC of War Machine and Hordes.
Yeah.
It's really cool to see it growing. War Machine and Hordes, it's been around for like 11 years now. Yeah. It's really grown. It was predominantly a North American game, and now it's starting to spread. We're hearing about it really catching on in Australia, and now it's really caught on in Europe. And I'm 99% certain the WTC takes place in Poland. Please correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. But Poland is like becoming like a mecca of wargaming. Like that country loves its war games. They have some of the best players. They have some of the best sculptors, and all kinds of stuff is coming out of Poland. So it's really neat to see it really take root there. And if that is the home of the WTC, which I feel like an idiot if I'm wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that it is, good for them. They've really as a country, it seems like they've really taken to it. Yeah. And America won by a significant margin last year.
Yeah.
I didn't have a chance to really dig in and look at the results. Next show, we'll go into it more because it deserves to be covered.
Definitely.
I would like to say the America Team A, I think Team Stripes, or Stars, America Team Stars won. I'd like to say that we would.
So America sends over a few teams, right?
Stars and Stripes. Team A, Team B.
That's cool.
Yeah. So
I dig it.
Good luck to, congratulations to what sounded like a great event, and we'll give more coverage on the next show.
All right. Rocket Games reveals the new Black Crow Commandos. These guys look sick.
Black Crow or Rocket Games is a new company, new to me.
Yeah.
But they've just been doing phenomenal stuff. I remember seeing their renders quite a while ago, and I was like, wow, if they can actually turn this into real models, I'm going to be impressed. And they did, and I am impressed. Now they have pictures of painted models up, and there's a selection of commandos, as you can see, and they're brilliant. They're really, really good miniatures. I would be willing to go so far as to say that they're nipping infinities at Corvus Belli's heels in regards to the quality of what they're putting out.
For sure.
Really cool sci-fi kind of special ops miniatures. Well done. I look forward to seeing more. They have some alien sculpts too that are also really good.
They look slick. I think I'm excited to see what else they're going to be producing here really soon. Siren Miniatures shows off a new render of Sile. Looks pretty cool. He's like a old school. What is he? A samurai or no?
He
He looks
he
more like a
looks
knight.
he looks extremely similar to a very popular Witcher in a very popular game that
Nah.
we've been all seeing.
He does have two swords.
Dude, look at his beard, his ponytail. He's got two broadswords.
He's rocking it.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was heavily inspired by Garou.
I don't know.
Something.
Jarrell.
I didn't
think.
play the game, so I'm just going
know.
off memory. But yeah, but you know, hey, nothing wrong with that. It's different enough, but you can definitely see the similarities.
Yeah. No, it looks pretty cool though. I like the pose that he's striking. He kind of looks like Hercule.
Hercule, he doesn't have an afro though.
I know, but the pose that he's striking right now looks like a Hercule pose.
Hercule always busts the sweetest poses
He did.
before he gets his ass kicked.
All right, LVO update. So we're really excited. We've got all sorts of people reaching out to us to run demo games, board games, Blood Bowl, Malifaux. We're gonna have so many different events going on. It's gonna be amazing this year.
Yeah, the LVO has really put his big boy pants on, so to speak, this year. It's been a great event. It's been a tremendous event the last 2 years. We've been so pleased with to see the hard work that goes into it yield good results. But now we're really excited because we're branching out. We have a team of people coming in from Southern California that can be running like 20 different board games. That as long as you have a con badge, you can sit down, play. It's like King of Tokyo, Settlers of Catan, just a ton of awesome board games.
Yeah.
And demo games. Really excited. There's a local Las Vegas gaming group that's coming in that's going to be running demo games as well. Really excited to work with local Vegas hobbyists and gaming groups that are local to the area. They were with us last year. They did a great job. They're super pumped to come in again this year. We've also got Malifaux tickets up for sale. So we're going to have Friday, Saturday, Sunday events.
Sweet.
You can jump in and get those tickets now. And we're also going to be running a Blood Bowl tournament. I'm just hammering out the last details. Going to have all that information up on the site this week. But we're really excited. It's a local group there as well that's going to be doing it. And what's really exciting is we're going to have a custom miniature, a Blood Bowl miniature that's going to be available at the LVO that's made for it. It's going to be included in your ticket price.
That's sick.
It's going to be cool. These guys are Blood Bowl fanatics. They do a really, really good job. So get excited to come in and play Blood Bowl at the Las Vegas Open. This will be on Friday. And again, you'll be able to get a custom miniature designed for the event that's included with your ticket price. And it's really cool. He's like a little goblin football player with a funny hat on. And again, we have all those images up on the site this week. So really cool. Get excited. Las Vegas Open, February 5th to the 7th. Going to be a blast. We do have 2 spots left for Friday night for the 40K narrative. It's sold out like instantly, but there's 2 tickets that are just lingering in the web card. So
They're
go in
just
and get
hanging
them.
out.
I think people just assume it's sold out, but there are 2 spots left if you want to get that. And again, we still have room. War Machine Hordes, X-Wing, Netrunner, Magic the Gathering, Friday Night Magic, tons of stuff. So only the 40K events, largely. Only 40K championships and the narrative are really full. Everything else we still have room.
Yep. Dude, I'm stoked.
Yeah, it's going to be so badass this year.
All right, and upcoming ITC events. These are coming up this fall or this next weekend. Michigan GT, Lansing, Michigan, and that's it.
Yep, we only have one ITC event this weekend.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I think this time of the year, people are going back to school
ready,
and stuff like that. So, but again, there's an ITC event every flipping weekend. Last weekend we had like 7.
Yeah.
But the Michigan GT is a really, really good event. We're friends with the people that run it. They do a great job. Michigan has a lot of 40K going on.
They do.
They have a lot of really good stuff. So check it out if you're in the area. This is a great event. They draw a big crowd. Definitely worth checking it out.
Yep.
Oh, also one last thing on the ITC. Working with Tinbane, he's the man, the myth, the legend behind the automated ITC ranking system. Thank goodness, because I wouldn't be able to keep up with it if we didn't have his assistance. People have been reaching out saying it'd be really cool if in the rankings it showed where somebody was from.
Oh, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll go down as specific as city. I don't know if people want to go.
I think state would be cool.
State, we'll definitely go country and state or province. So that I think is gonna be really neat because we're going global at this stage. We've got Australia as their events. We got Japan. We're picking one up in Norway. We've got the UK. Obviously, Canada's got a ton of events in North America. So people will be able to also break down where they're at by region. And eventually, as this grows, if it continues to grow the way it has been, which would be really cool, we could do regional. Like you could be the best of whatever for your region. We could also have state. You could have state championship. I mean, the sky's the limit, right?
Yeah.
So it's really, really cool, very exciting, and we're definitely working on adding that to the ITC. We're also working on some other really cool long-reaching stuff like player profiles and stuff like that.
Yep.
Really, really excited to see it grow, and we're just going to keep running with it. We're going to go as far as it'll go. So yeah, just stay excited, stay tuned in for that, and we'll let you know as it develops.
All right. Rumors. The rumors section is gathered from the web and is not in any way information received from any manufacturer, nor is it necessarily accurate. This section of the podcast is intended for entertainment purposes only.
You did that from memory this time.
I did.
That's pretty good. So light on the rumors, really light. I mean, besides the obvious with Tau coming out, and then the continued rumors of Tzeentch Demonkin being this year. There's supposedly going to be 3 40K codexes before the end of the year, which would be great. I'm very excited for that. But the big one is there's images of Scarbrand floating around. Scarbrand is the named Bloodthirster. And holy crap.
He is
incredible.
incredible.
Is so outstanding.
What's the fluff behind him? Is he like pissed off Korn or something like that, right?
The fluff behind him is that he was Korn's favorite Bloodthirster. He was the gnarliest, angriest, ass-kickingest Bloodthirster.
Good.
He was the king Bloodthirster. He was the greatest. But his pride grew to the point where he was tricked into trying to fight Korn himself. So he walked up to Korn and like punched him in the face, and Korn was like simultaneously enraged, but also like, this guy's pretty badass. So instead of destroying him, he drove him mad, ripped his wings off, and cast him down to forever be just. He's now pretty much, Scarbrand is pretty much mindless at this point. He's so pissed now that everyone around him gets pissed. So the fluff is really cool. The model is just.
The model is incredible.
So now I was like, I've been going back and forth on my Korn Demonkin list. I was like, man, I was like, the whole reason I'm playing this is because I really want to build the Bloodthirster model.
Yeah.
That was like the driving motivation behind it. Plus, it's just a badass. And now my mind is made up. I'm gonna do like a monster mash. It's not gonna be very good, but I'm gonna take like multiple Bloodthirsters, and then I'm gonna take Bellicor. And it's going to
cast
be
shrouding and run it.
It won't be very good, but I'm going to take my sweet time on each one of those giant models, and it's going to be
that'd be sick.
Freaking awesome.
You should use Scarbrand as Bellicor. I don't like Bellicor's model.
I'm going to use the one that my Demon Prince has a sculpted dreadlocks.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to use him as Bellicor.
Gotcha.
Which is Rich from Green Stuff Industry used this awesome green stuff sculpting tool.
Yeah.
And he made dreadlocks on one of my Demon Princes. And I custom built him down 2 weapons. I told him make it look like Kerrigan from StarCraft. And he did an amazing job. And the model's painted. I just haven't used it because Chaos is largely underwhelming. So my army won't be what you call good, but it's gonna be badass.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. Yeah. And then bunch of Tau rumors floating around. This new suit looks pretty cool.
We'll talk about that more in the rules lawyer section because it's of course causing some.
I don't know. I'm talking about the new suit that's coming out.
The missile suit.
Yeah,
it's called the Storm Surge.
That thing looks pretty cool.
I'm willing to bet. Well, anyway, so enough about the Scarbrand model is phenomenal.
Badass.
Phenomenal.
Can't wait.
But I heard it makes 2 different kits too, so we'll see about that.
Oh really? Probably just makes maybe just a normal Demon Prince or something.
I think it makes another named Bloodthirster. We'll see. I'm guessing that, but I think it's a multi kit. But supposedly the rumors are that they haven't changed his rules at all.
Nope.
Which is a bit of a bummer because Scarbrand's actually not that good.
No.
He's just a normal Bloodthirster that gives everybody within 12 inches, I think, rage and hatred. Enemy and foes, all.
There might be even farther than that. It used to be 24.
I think it's 12.
It might have lowered it.
So we'll see. But there are a lot of Tau rumors. I'm willing to bet that Tau are going to get this Lord of War in their codex, which every other book, every other codex in 7th edition has gotten. And I'm really curious to see if this new Storm Surge is it.
Actually,
everyone has. Every 7th edition Necrons.
Did they?
Got the obelisk. They had 2.
Oh, that's right. They have the obelisk. Huh?
They have the obelisk, and then they have the other one. Which remember?
Tesseract Vault.
Tesseract Vault. Orcs have the Stampa. The Eldar have the Wraith Knight, obviously. That's only.
Space Marines have Calgar.
Yeah, you're right. Space Marines didn't.
Well, they have Calgar.
Well, they don't have a Gargantuan, or they don't have a super heavy Lord of War.
Gotcha.
Oh, you're right. That is the only one that didn't. So my theory is wrong. But then Demon King got the Lord of Skulls.
Yeah.
Oh,
but Space Marines can use like the Fellblade and all that
yeah,
stuff.
but it's not actually in their book
That's true.
because they don't have. Games Workshop does not make a super heavy Space Marine vehicle. It's only Forge World does.
Yeah.
And I think that's why.
But I'm sure Tao's gonna get like a super suit.
I think
a
the
lot
new
like the
Storm
Wraith Knight.
Surge is going to be a Lord of War. I'm guessing.
That'd be sick.
I don't think they'll make the Riptide. I think they'll make that new one.
Yeah, no, I think they'll
War.
make a new Riptide.
Yeah. So, again, I'm speculating. I have no idea.
Yeah.
We'll see in a couple weeks, but, well, rumored to see in a couple weeks. We don't know the exact release date just yet. But I think that they will have one in the book.
Definitely.
So a lot of Tau players are like, where's my Lord of War? I think you're going to get it. But yeah, the new models look so good.
They're sick.
The new Fire Wars look amazing. The new Crisis suits look amazing from the rumored pictures. So we'll see. I'm very excited for the Tau release.
Yep. All right, Tactics Corner.
I forgot to put in the note.
Even better.
We'll table it till next week.
Okay.
We'll put some more thought into it.
Sounds good. Rules Lawyer.
No, or Tactics Corner.
Oh, Tactics Corner.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we played, Jeff and Control Robinson, our buddy, was here this weekend. We played a ton of games. He's a machine. He'll play like 20 games in a row.
He's a manimal.
And I enjoyed it because we got a lot of practice games in.
Yeah.
And Frankie's been playing his White Scars Battle Company, which is just incredibly good list. Jeff was playing his War Convocation, which is brutal, easily top tier army.
Yeah.
I was playing my my Airborne Imperium army, which I've been calling it. And we had some really good games. Really good games.
Yeah. Most of our games were really close. My last one against Jeff was not close. He beat my butt. My dice were... it was just bad. That was a bad game. But no, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to see how our lists did against each other, fighting back into games, falling behind in games. It was really, really fun. Jeff's list is super good.
Super good.
It's funny because you look at it on paper and you're like, nah, it's not that special.
Yeah.
And then you play against it, you're like, holy shit.
It was really interesting because we all kind of play lists that are kind of suit our personalities. Frankie's just very, very tactical, a lot of repeated stuff, which is kind of like the way you usually do things.
Yeah.
My list was goofy and tricky, which is the way I always like to play. And Jeff had a straight hammer blow army, which is the way he usually plays. And it was fun because we all were going back and forth and learning a lot. I started out, I was a little down because my list is very tricky. It takes a lot of order of operations, very important. And at first, I played you and I played Jeff and just got smashed, destroyed because I played my list wrong.
Yeah.
And I didn't do it right. And I got kind of down. I was like, man, I don't know if I can even compete. And then we tried it again, and then I beat Jeff. I was one of the only times he's ever lost with Airborne, Imperial Guard, the Skyhammer formation, and Elias Isidon with some scouts.
Yeah.
And I beat him, which felt really good because he's got almost 500 more points than me.
Yeah.
And again, like I should have taken out that knight. The shooting knight, by the way,
Thing is incredible.
amazingly good. It is so good, so good. And both times I dropped like 4 units of Melta around it and didn't kill it. With ignores cover, tank hunter, all this stuff. Like in the game where I won, I dropped down 8 Melta guns on opposite sides. So one of them was going to hit him with he had no defense at all.
Yeah.
And out of 8 shots, I hit twice, and one of them rolled snake eyes on armor pen.
Good.
I was like,
You're all sweet.
son of a good. So I got him down to 1 whole point. Couldn't kill him. And that knight is the bane of your existence too. That thing just does work.
The knight like wins him the game against me like every time. I'm like, I can't get to it, and it just
and Grav don't
kills
cut
all my
it
stuff. I'm
against the knight. They just
well,
don't cut it
it does, but he has a 2-up cover save most of the time.
for 2 turns.
Yeah. So I'm like, by the time I get to him, it's like turn 2 or 3, and then he just starts using stealth and shrouding, and I just can't do anything.
And he has all those AP3 weapons that just devastate your units of Marines. Yeah. The knight isn't as bad against me, but I have the tools to kill it. It's very frustrating. In both games, I set it up perfectly, and the dice just took a crap. In normal situations, the drop Melta squads, I use Elysian drop troops, because the command squads have orders. They can ignore cover and stuff. So I should kill it easily, but I just haven't. But the rest of the army were great. I use the Skyhammer Annihilation differently than most people do. I take heavy bolters, and I use it to pin units.
Yeah.
And the assault squads, when you use them correctly, I'm so happy my assault marines have been doing work.
Yeah.
They've been doing work. I take a veteran sergeant with a special weapon, and when you shoot them with the Devastators, they take away the Overwatch, and then if they fail their check, you get to reroll the hit and wound. And those little 5-man units just go and gobble stuff up.
Yep.
I've been wanting to make Assault Marines work forever, and I'm like, okay, here you go, they're working.
Yeah, they're really good, and they're so fast. They can jump around, and like you said, you just tie up units or are actually like eating through units.
Yeah.
With the rerolls, so it was really, you were making the Skyhammer work.
Yeah.
Which was cool.
It's very like most people are just loading him a grab, drop down, shoot something, and then die.
Yeah.
Mine have been surviving the whole game. And it's been really fun. It's the way I like to play, where it's like force multiplication. The units need to work in concert. When it works, it's amazing. When it doesn't, it just falls apart and I get smashed. But that's the way I prefer to play the game. So it was really fun. Got a lot of practice. I'm feeling very confident with my list.
Yeah.
And it's cool because it's completely different. Your army is brutal. I still haven't beat it. I haven't managed to beat your battle company yet. I got very close last time.
Yeah.
But still, your army is very good. So at any rate, that was a lot of fun, and look forward to seeing our armies more in tournaments and on the streams.
All right. Now we've got, what is that?
Rules Lawyer.
Rules Lawyer, there you go.
So a project I've been meaning to do came in on Sunday, worked all day, just trying to get caught up, but also something we've been wanting to do is to set up a way for people to submit their rules questions for the ITC, comments about rulings, all that kind of stuff. Because we get a lot of emails about rules questions, and a lot of them are the same question.
Yeah.
So we end up spending a lot of time answering the same question over and over again, and it's inefficient. So this way, what we can do is we've set up a link, which is in the show notes. It's on a blog post on the front page. It's also in the ITC tab on the front page. The drop-down menu, go to ITC 40K FAQ rule submission questionnaire, something like that. I can't remember what exactly called it. You'll see it. Click on that. It brings you to a submission page where you can enter in your question or comment, and then it goes into a database so that we can look and see if 10 people ask the same question. We'll just address it on the show.
Yeah.
That way we don't have to email everybody back. Or if 100 people bring up the same issue, like, oh, hey, I think this needs to be addressed, we can address it in the FAQ.
Yep.
And working with some other people who are really good at this, analyzing data, to come up with even more efficient ways to compile it. And what we'll do is we'll use this to determine what issues we talk about for the quarterly updates for the ITC. If enough people are talking about this one particular issue,
it's a problem, so we should address it. So
in the future, if you have a rules question, don't email me. Don't ever email me on Facebook. I don't even check it half the time. Don't PM me on DACA. Go to this page and shoot your question there. If you do email us, we're just going to tell you to submit it through there.
Yeah.
Not trying to be rude. We're just trying to get people used to doing it. And it'll free up a lot of our time too.
It'll keep it more formal. It'll be nicer.
Yeah. So yeah, check it out. Using technology to make the ITC better.
All right. So the internet exploded this weekend in just people talking about the new Tau supersuit.
Didn't explode.
It literally exploded. I don't know if you saw it, but it erupted.
Whenever there's a new release, there's controversy. Yeah. So in the ITC, we're talking about, in all likelihood, I would say it's like 95% likely, unless something new comes out that we don't know yet, that the new Tau supersuit is, in all likelihood, is not going to be ITC approved. And of course, this upset some people. Had a really nice meme that someone made making fun of us on our Facebook page, which I was laughing because the grammar and spelling is terrible in it.
Didn't somebody start a petition to get a Warhound Titan into the ITC?
That was a joke. That was actually one of our teammates. It's tongue in cheek. So, let's talk about this. Goat Boy wrote an article about it on Bulls today, making fun of me specifically. And he's my really good friend, and I know he didn't mean anything by it. He misspelled my name. He says on purpose, but it's with a C, not an S. Everybody always spells it with an S. I'm used to it. But I mean, let's talk about the Tau suit. So in the last show, we said we qualify this as a Titan. And people are like, wow, you don't work for Forge World. It doesn't say it's a Titan on their site. Yeah, you're right. It doesn't. But we weren't saying like it's officially a Titan. We were saying, look at its stats. It has Titan stats.
Yeah, it has in comparison to a Titan.
Right. So the closest comparison to this is the Tyranid Bio Titan, the Hierophant. Right. It is the only other thing off the top of my head that is toughness 9 with 10 wounds with a 2-up save.
Yep.
All right. Let's just look at this a little bit. The Hierophant is insane. I've never seen it killed in a game. It only has a 6-up invulnerable save. Mm-hmm. And it has 12 strength, 10 shots. doesn't have any D shooting.
Yep.
It's 1,000 points.
It is a lot of points, yes.
1,000 points. The Tau Titan, Tau Supersuit is 600 points. It is grossly undercosted. Just do some simple math. How many ballistic skill 4 melter guns does it take to kill it? 135.
Yep.
That's 1,350 points of melter guns, not including the guy that holds it. You take 2 of the damn Tau suits for that. Now, we're not saying that it's invincible. We're not saying that it'll automatically win the game. That's not what we're saying. We're not saying that it's, too good. It is too cheap for the points, for what you get. We have certain guidelines in place in the ITC for what we allow for Lords of War. And this suit violates them. Therefore, it's being treated fairly the same way we treat all other factions.
Yeah.
If it has something that is larger than 5 inches, blast, ignores cover, or a Hellstrom template with Torrent, we don't allow those either. We are allowing normal Hellstrom templates now. We don't allow it in the ITC, right? So this thing has a 4 strength 5 or strength 8 AP3 5-inch blast, ignores cover blast, but it also has a 7-inch D weapon, which with marker lights, which of course you're going to have in a Tau army, it won't miss and it'll ignore cover.
Yeah. Granted, the new Tau Codex that comes out, maybe they won't ignore cover anymore,
Right.
in which case we will reevaluate the
Take
suit.
another look at it.
But the way that it is right now, marker lights, with 2 marker lights, you straight up ignore cover with a 7-inch D blast.
Yeah, and with like 4 marker lights, it won't miss. It's
Yeah.
too big. The diameter of the blast is too big. It won't miss. So, and the reason why we're bringing this up is that people, and I understand, we get it. Like, it's an awesome model. It's so
heck
beautiful.
yeah, I would
Brilliant
love
model.
to see this
If
thing.
you're a Tau player, I would be, I actually wouldn't be upset, but that's because we're coming from a different perspective. But if you feel like you're getting your cool toy taken away from you by us specifically,
Yep.
and it's really not the case. I get it, and people are upset. But the thing is, the application of this rule is fair across the board. Talk to everybody who has a Warhound Titan. They feel the same way. They want to use a Warhound, but for the same reasons, we're not. The other thing is, too, is if something's too durable, we don't let it in either. Which is why you don't see the Harridan or the Hierophant in the game, because they're just too damn durable.
Flying gargantuans and super heavies
Too
are
hard
ridiculous.
to kill. Like, there's some armies that have nothing.
Yeah.
And the same thing with the Demon Lords.
Yeah.
Like, Super Chicken. That thing is
That thing
effectively
is
invincible.
ridiculous.
Yeah, because a lot of D weapons that could actually kill it are blast, and the thing flies.
Yeah.
Or the Greater Demon of Nurgle. He's essentially invincible. There's a lot of armies that the game becomes like me picking up units as you shoot your big thing. I can't do anything to you.
Yeah. Granted, those big things do look amazing on the table.
Oh, they do. They're
so.
brilliant. And then we do have Apocalypse style events. We have narrative style events. We
Yeah.
can use them. But the game becomes too much about that one model. That's why we don't do it. That's why we don't allow the Revenant. That's why we don't allow the Demon Lords. We've done this across the board. This is nothing new.
Yeah.
If you're a Tau player who was unfamiliar with it, it's new to you. Therefore, you're upset. We get it. But it's a little too much, right? We always err on the side of caution with Lords of War.
Yeah.
We always say no before we say yeah, because once you let it in, it's very hard to take it out. And if we rewind the clock just a little bit, the Eldar Lynx, which is infinitely less powerful than this thing, was the reason D weapons got banned in ITC. That one model.
Yep.
It had 2 5-inch blast D shots. That was it. That was the thing that it upset people enough, that one Lord of War, that people reacted saying ban D weapons, range D, in the ITC completely.
Yep.
This thing is an order of magnitude more powerful. So people are like, oh, but Grav can kill it. Yeah, that is true. Grav is the best way to deal with it, but not every army has Grav weapons.
No.
What do you do if your army does not have Grav? Like in the grand scheme of things, in a tournament, if you bring this and you come up against a double Star or with ignores cover or whatever, you might get killed. And that's true. So in a tournament perspective, will this guy make it all the way to the top and automatically win? No, probably not. But what if you are that guy that's playing Orcs, or that guy that is playing Astra Militarum, or that is playing any normal army that doesn't have access to weapons that can deal with it? You're boned. You've got nothing. You're just going to sit there and get killed by this Titan. And that's not fun.
Yeah.
That's not conducive to a good tournament environment.
No.
You know, it's just not. So
And what a lot of people are doing are they're like comparing it to like the Wraith Knight and stuff, but it's not a fair comparison. The Wraith Knight was a monstrous creature that got turned into a super heavy, and that was basically it. It was just a monstrous creature that got turned into a super heavy, whereas this is straight up a Titan. It has 10 wounds, toughness 9,
a 2-up save,
2-up save,
full-up
all
invul
this
that
other
can
stuff.
stop the
Yeah.
death blow.
It has a lot more than
Yeah.
just what the Wraith Knight has. Granted, people are saying like, well, Wraith Knight with invisibility is more durable than this. Okay, fair enough. But this has a lot of firepower that ignores cover, all this other stuff. It's apples and oranges, unfortunately.
It's
So,
not a fair comparison.
No.
And people are like, well, you could take 2 Wraith Knights for 1 Tau Supersuit, and that is true, but not in the ITC.
Nope.
In the ITC, you can't. You can only take 1 Lord of War. The one exception we made is you can take a single detachment of Knights have more than 1 Knight, and we did that because they have 1 model in their codex. We would be invalidating an entire codex if we said Knights couldn't do that.
Yep.
So we made compromises. Like I said, Tau, you're probably going to get a super heavy in your new book, but the super suit is beautiful. It's awesome. It's way too cheap. Like I said, the Hierophant is the closest approximation to it.
Yeah.
It's a 400 more points, and it's not as powerful. Now, fair enough, it is way better in combat. I'll give you that. But look at the other 600-point Lords of War. I mean, look at the Lord of Skulls, which 888 points. It's laughably worse than this. Like a Barbed Hierodule is 600 points, and that's one of the best Lords of War in the ITC now. It's the same point. It's like laughably.
Or look at a brass
so much
Scorpion in
different.
comparison.
Yeah, and they're not even remotely
Brass
close.
Scorpion will get wrecked.
Yeah, they're not even remotely close. So we're not saying that forever and always this is going to be the case.
Nope.
We're always open-minded to looking at things. But as it stands, if nothing changes, don't expect to use it in the ITC. If there's a massive upsurge of people saying, yeah, let's use it,
Maybe
we'll be open-minded to it, but
yeah.
I highly doubt that's going to
We have to see the new codex and see what happens to marker lights and all that stuff.
Yep.
And don't worry, we will be fair. And unfortunately, right now, it's just crazy.
Oh, and then one other thing I just have to say, and this is a bit of an obvious thing, but if your objective is to try and persuade someone to come to your point of view, insulting them usually doesn't work. Just
Really?
yeah.
Oh, shit.
If
I
you're
gotta
like, hey, man, I would
reevaluate
really
this.
like you to see things my way, I'm not gonna try and insult them. That usually
I
doesn't,
would.
That usually doesn't start conducive.
I'd be like, you're ugly and stupid, and now you should agree with me.
Well, this dumb
on this.
meme that someone wrote that can't spell very well and isn't very good at grammar was like indicating that we didn't like the Tau Supersuit because we play Death Stars. And I'm like,
Wait, what?
I write articles on a regular basis about how much I dislike Death Stars. And I do agree that Lords of War are good for balancing them, but that doesn't mean that you let in the Warlord Titan.
Death
right?
Stars. Actually, I don't think either of us have ever played a Death Star.
You used to play the Harley Star.
Oh, I did play the Harley Star. Yeah, that's
years
true.
ago. But
That's true.
I just thought it was funny. I was like, wow, this is so inaccurate. Like, I actively and openly hate Death Stars.
Whatever.
So, anyway, it's all good.
All right, so completed commissions. What are these models?
This is a recently completed Malifaux commission.
Oh, okay.
It's really, really awesome. Malifaux's miniatures have really been upping their game.
They're
Look-
slick.
Yeah. Check us out for your next painting commission. We have a huge studio of over 20 painters. We're ready to take your commission. We have extremely competitive prices, and our artists are very, very talented. They do a great job. So check us out. Go to the paint tab or send in your quote request to painting@frontlinegaming.org. Check it out, and we would be happy to paint your next commission at Frontline Gaming.
Yeah. All right, list for review. We've got a Space Wolves detachment followed by an Inquisition. Okay, so we've got a Wolfguard Battle Leader in Terminator Armor, Storm Shield, Kraken Bone Sword, and a Melt Bomb. Arjak Rock Fist. I dig it.
I love this list already.
He's got 2 3-man Wolfguard Terminator squads with 3 combi plasma, or one has plasma, one has melta. They 2 storm shields in each unit, and then 1 power weapon in each unit.
They each have a power weapon. Oh, is he swapping out the power weapon for the storm shield?
I think
You
the
can do
melta
that.
the melta gun.
No, he is swapping out his power weapon for a storm shield. So they have a gun and a shield.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go. And then he has 2 units of 3 lone wolves.
Three units of 3 lone wolves. He just wrote it in a weird way.
Oh, okay.
So he has
Okay.
6 lone wolves.
I like it. Is that right?
What?
No.
Yeah, because you can take 8 elites in the wolf in the Company of the Great Wolf.
Maybe.
He structured his list funny. So there's 6 lone wolves. He has 3 drop pods with teleport homers, and he's putting the wolf guard in there. And then he's got 2 Ordo Malleus Inquisitors with Terminator Armor, Nemesis Demon Hammer, Psychic, and 3 by Servo Skulls. He has 6 Servo Skulls. And then he's got 3 Henchmen Warbands with Acolytes, Plasma Guns. Oh no, he's putting the Henchmen in the drop pods. Everything. So unfortunately, this is an illegal list. It's super creative and fun and funny, and I love it. But if you read the Lone Wolf, you can only take 1 for every unit of Grey Hunters or Blood Claws. Yeah, it's weird the way they write it. In the Lone Wolf section, in their like fluff, it's like the next paragraph. It's like you may take 1 of these for every da 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 da. What in the Grey Wolf detachment, the only difference is that you don't have to take any troops, but you can take up to 8 elites. Yeah. So unfortunately, this list isn't. It's super creative and fun and funny, and I love it. I think it'd be a ton of fun. It's not very good, but it'd be really fun. Unfortunately, though, you can't actually put it on the table. Yeah, and that's great. That's what I would expect with a fun army like this.
It's really fun. I like it. Striking down Arjac Rockfish.
You got Thor. Throw your hammer.
Wolfguard Battle Leader. I really like this.
This is going to be a ton of fun to play and play against. But, it's not a legal list, unfortunately. Yeah, bummer.
All right, guys. We'll take some.
Hey, everybody, let's go ahead and jump in and get some questions. Oh, the WTC
okay,
was
so
in
it
Ireland
does
this year.
change.
Yep, my apologies. Yep, I didn't have time to actually dig in. We were running a little late this morning. Yeah, go ahead and fire some questions away, guys. You need to refresh the page.
My mic died. So somebody saying troop doesn't take up.
You know what? Let's double check.
Got a book right there.
This is why I hate going off the top of my head, because it's ultra specific. Luckily, I've got my Space Wolves book. Right there, you can go and read a question, buddy.
Craig Sniffen says personal attacks are great arguments. You clods. I don't know what that means. Oh, okay.
You can take 1 lone wolf for each troop choice or unit of Wolf Guard or Wolf Guard Terminators in your army. This selection does not use up a force organization slot. Well, those are 2 different sentences. Those are 2 different clauses. So it's saying that you can take 1 for every troop choice of Wolf Guard Terminators. And then if you do take 1, it does not take up a slot in the force organization chart. So those are 2 sentences. The first clause is giving you permission to take them. The second one is saying that it doesn't take up. Because if it was conditional, it would say you can take 1 per X. If you do, this does not take up a force organization slot choice. That is the way that I read it. Of course, everything is debatable. All right. Okay. Good guy Quentin. So we're having a little bit of technical issues. Frankie's mic is indicating that it is broadcasting, but then it is not receiving. So I'll take it. How would you effectively beat the new Tau suit with Astra Militarum? Good guy Quentin asks. Good guy Quentin, the best thing Astra Militarum have, in my opinion, would be to try and tie it up. In melee, Astra Militarum cannot really shoot it to death. You don't have enough weapons. BS4 meltaguns would take 180, or BS3 meltaguns would take 180 meltaguns to kill it. And then again, you have to be close enough. Las cannons, I don't want to do the math in my head right now, but it would be somewhere on the it's like literally not possible to shoot it to death. No, I mean, I use that example because to illustrate how ludicrous it is. And again, that's not like the ultimate measurement. You know, how many meltaguns does it take to kill something? So if you were playing against the Tau Supersuit and you were Astra Militarum, the best thing you could do is to try to tie it up in combat. Now, unfortunately, it stomps. And like a unit of conscripts with a priest would be really good, except if he rolls a single 6 on stomp, he'll kill the priest run the unit down, you're effed. The best thing you can do is try to ignore it as much as possible and try to win the mission, kill the support units. But, I mean, I'm trying to think. Maybe if you had like a storm sword and you hit it with a D weapon, but the 6 doesn't kill it, and it will kill you. It will ignore its cover, shoot a D weapon at your storm sword, and won't not necessarily kill it in a single shot. But then it has 10 multi-meltas, which are pretty effective at killing armor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough. I don't
know the best way of killing it. Just tying it up would be your only option.
I'm sure it's possible to kill it. I just can't think of how you would do it. And the other problem is that a lot of the things that are good at killing it, like deep striking units, you need to be within usually 24-inch range, 12-inch range. And Tau are known for having tons of interceptor. Maybe in the new book it won't be that prevalent.
Yeah.
If they have like a fire-based cadre, you'll drop in and die before you do anything. And then they can bubble wrap. It's the same thing we see with the Revenant. I mean, we've seen this over and over and over again. These are not new tactics. When you have these hyper-durable Lords of War, you usually don't kill them. It's very rare. Only time I've ever seen a Revenant die is when the person playing it made a big mistake.
Yeah.
I don't know how to answer that question. If you would need a lot of D weapons.
Yep.
Because you don't get access to Grav with Astra Militarum. And they don't have access to really D weapons either. I don't know. I don't think they really can.
You need monster killer shells.
Yeah, you know what? But that would be your best bet. But then the
D6
problem is
wounds.
he shoots the Lehman Russes with him. No, it does D3.
Oh, D3.
Yeah, it would do D3. It would be D3 wounds. But he shoots you once with his D weapons or his 10 multi-meltas. They can shoot 2 different targets. You're gonna be lucky if you shoot a single time.
Okay, DKO Xylophone. What are your thoughts on the GW shareholders article you posted on Bell Lost Souls?
I did not post that on Bell Lost Souls.
Somebody else posted on Bell Lost Souls.
But it was on our Facebook page. We'll talk about that next week. I want some time to think about that before just shooting from the hip.
Yeah.
Because it's not new information. We've been aware of this for a very long time, but it's pretty shocking to people. Go to our Facebook page, read the article, think about, maybe shoot us some thoughts on it, and we'll talk about it in depth next show.
Trigger Happy 1987. How does Frankie use Khan in his battle company when you can only take a captain or a chaplain? Khan is a captain.
And in the list of things that you can substitute for the captain, Khan is listed.
Yep.
So that's how you do that, Trigger Happy.
NWO, as whatever night. My FLG shades broke. How do I acquire more?
Those things
go
made
to
my
LVO.
Swag.
You might get some more. Son.
Those things made my swag levels 11 out of 10.
I like it.
That's awesome.
Come to LVO. We'll get you another pair.
Grazing Shot. Will you be extending the Fat Man Outrider program to Canada or other countries? Email frontlinegaming.sales@gmail.com. Talk to Jason. He's the account manager for Fat Mats. And we want to work with you in Canada. Shipping can be problematic. Crossing that border is a mega pain. But there's ways to work with you. So reach out to Jason, and he'll try to help you as much as possible.
Yep. Wingdeer 83. When are you releasing the MDF terrain pieces? We're shooting for by the end of October. We'll be releasing at least 1 or 2.
The first building.
First
for sure.
batch.
Yep.
Correct, man.
Okay, Jay Papel.
There you go.
What's up with Kings of War? LVO Mantic is the new fantasy. Yeah, we're waiting to see how this unfolds, right? Like, we had a TO reach out to us saying they wanted to run a Kings of War tournament on Friday at the LVO, and we're open-minded to that. I'm talking to him. Mantic is going to be at the LVO. We work with them. They've given us a lot of terrain. We worked out a deal with them for terrain for the 40K tables. They make great terrain. You've seen it on our stream.
Yeah.
We're waiting to see. It looks like the Fantasy Masters League, which is like the biggest fantasy league in the United States, is switching. At least a lot of them are switching to Kings of War. In Europe, it looks like a lot of them are kind of mixed between Kings of War and then fan-made rule sets. We're kind of waiting to see how the cookie crumbles on that. We don't want to make a jump into anything yet because we want to kind of go with what the largest group of people are going with. We'll see.
Mighty God King, with almost a year of hardcore corn releases, do we think that the other gods are going to get love from GW?
Yeah.
Yes,
totally.
I definitely believe so. Zinch is up next. So I'm excited to see what they do with
Is
that.
it GW favoritism? I always think that's funny. GW doesn't really play favorites. They go with what sells the best. And that's why Korn Demonkin came out first. That's why Korn was the first thing you saw in Age of Sigmar.
Yeah.
I guess it's playing favorites, so to speak, but it's really not. It's them giving the customers what they want translated through sales. That's why Space Marines get so much stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like them like, oh, we like the fluff of them better. It's they sell better and we're a business, so we're going to feed the machine. That's the other thing that always amuses me when people talk about rulings in the ITC, like we play favorites with armies, and I'm like, think about that for like 2 seconds. Why would we ever do that? That'd be so unintelligent. Like,
Yeah. And our events are always won by like a different army. So
yeah, there's never been a favorite. But I mean, because people look at it and they're like, this is my favorite army. You're not doing something for my army, therefore you don't like it.
yeah.
I know take that a logical step further. Like, look at it from the other perspective. Like, we gain nothing by playing favorites with a certain army, and we stand to lose a lot.
Yeah.
So we never will ever do that. It's just, it always amuses me when people say that. I'm like, why? Why would we do that?
Giant Midget 4411 are Skitarii competitive as a standalone army?
Yes.
Yes, definitely. They're better with drop pods,
Yes.
but yes, they are they can stand alone.
I would say they're tier 2 by themselves, but a Skitarii drop pod army, I would argue is a tier 1 list.
Well, because they all get scout pretty quick.
But if you get
they can
seized
alpha
on,
strike.
if you get seized on, or if you don't go first, they are not. I don't think they're very strong. They need to go first, or be in drop pods. Okay, E. Hegner, is there any way we can come to a compromise with the new Tau Supersuit? Maybe make it so that you can use marker lights. You can't use marker lights, or take away the ignore coverability of the strength 8 guns. Yeah, it's the other thing. 10 ignore cover melted guns that could be BS5. That's a little rough. Edgar, the other issue is that it's so durable. It's the same reason why we don't use the Hierophant in the ITC, is that for some armies it's almost impossible to kill.
Yeah, and the hard part with making changes to allow these units is then everybody will want us to do it with every other unit.
Right, because then they're going to want Super Chicken.
Yes.
They're going to want the
So anything
Nurgle
else
Demon.
that's banned or
They're going to want the
Yes.
Warlord. They're going to want the Hierophant. They're going to want
it becomes a, what do they call it, a slippery slope.
slippery
Where do
slope,
you
mhm.
stop?
Because then
So-
people were like, you really are playing favorites for Tau. I want my Warhound, or I want my Revenant. And it's like, do you really want to play against a Revenant that stands on a Sky Shield that gets fortuned, and he has 3-4 up saves to stop anything?
Well, I mean, it'd all be changed, but it's just, it would take a lot of time and effort for us to go in and reevaluate every unit and figure out the right way to change it so that it fits into the ITC. So.
Yeah, so like we try to come up with a set of standards. Like, this is why, if a Lord of War hits any of these points, this is why we don't allow it.
Yeah.
And we've been 100% fair across the board. The only exception that we've made is for Imperial Knights, and that's because they're an entire army that would become invalidated if we did not make an exception for them.
It's not the only exception. I mean, like, the Decurion detachment, we made an exception for that.
In regards to Lords of War.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah, in regards to Lords of War, we've been super fair across the board.
Let's see here. What else we got? Oh, what is Super Chicken? It's the named Tzeentch Demon Prince.
Demon Lord.
Or Demon Lord, yeah. Sorry.
He's a flying gargantuan creature that
is ridiculous.
He's a 3-up invul save. He rerolls 1s. If I remember correctly, he's like T9. He has 9 wounds.
Yeah.
He automatically summons more units every turn. I mean, it's like insane.
But he does have to shoot at a Demon Prince if it's near him.
Yeah, and like it doesn't mean you're automatically going to win the game. Like a guy had Super Chicken at a tournament we went to, and he made it to the finals and he lost the last game.
Yeah.
But that's not the point. The point is that when you have a unit like this, it dominates the game, right? And there's a lot of armies that just can't interact with it.
No.
Like the Tau suit at T9, most weapons in the game can't hurt it.
Like, we're not saying that the Tau suit's like an auto win or anything like
not
that.
at all.
But what it does is it puts these units into the game that people that are playing on the middle tables or lower tables, or even the players that are on the top tables, I mean, you get paired up against it, you might not have that fun of a game.
You're almost guaranteed.
And then you might not come to an event again.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, then what happens to the whole gaming scene? It just dies.
It's
So.
the same reason why we've toned down things like the 2+ reroll save. Because you get these crazy Death Stars that like 2-up reroll invulnerable save and feel no pain, and they're fearless
Yeah.
hit and run. That's not fun. It's just not. It is not fun. I think everybody in the game will agree that that's not fun. Although some of the most competitive players will say it's not fun, but I enjoy the challenge, and I can play around it, and that's very true. And the best players, the very top tier players, will be like, I would like the opportunity to play against the Super Suit because I had relished the challenge. But the other 95% of the people at an event they'll just be like, this sucked. That was not cool at all. And that's why we tend to go towards the middle with all of our rulings.
Yeah, I mean, we got players like Todd Silver and stuff like that that'll just cry if they have to play against anybody that's any good at the game. So, poor guy.
we're teasing, of course.
Todd, I don't want your new inbox.
Oh, E. Hegner.
Space Marine stuff.
E. Hegner. Yes, I know who you are. I know everything, Edgar.
Oh, God.
No, I'm just kidding. I've met him in real life. He's a great guy.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, that's all we got. Thank you very much for tuning in. We appreciate it. We'll catch you guys tomorrow for a live stream game. And then Wednesday for, I don't know, we haven't really decided yet. Maybe we'll try AVP.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Wednesday, let's do hobby time because I actually want a reason to put some of my stuff together.
Okay. Well, so we'll do a hobby time on Wednesday. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you guys later.